Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's founder and metaphysician Dr. Angela Cudger. I'm the founder of Legacy Holistic Health Institute. And if you found this channel, you're in luck. All month long, we're going to be posting videos every night for the month of December 2023. And so if you found this channel, you're in luck. Today's video is going to be talking all about intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is the number one way to keep your weight in check long term, balance your hormones, and help you stop the clock on aging. And we're going to talk about that today. This channel is dedicated to the health, wellness, and spiritual evolution of women over 40. If you're not a woman or you're not over 40, it's okay. You can still kick it with us because this information might prove useful to you at another time or for someone that you're currently connected to. And so, if you're returning to the channel and you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. Your likes, your shares, your subscribes, all of it makes me feel so amazing, you guys. You know that I love you and I go out of my way to make sure you guys get bomb content on this channel that you can actually use. And so if you're new to this channel, welcome to the conscious community. We welcome you here with open arms. Any information that you're looking for, including information about online courses and being a part of our email list so that you can get Mindful Monday insights and journal prompts to get your week popping every week, you want to make sure that you get on our email list. That information is in the description of this video. Now, because December 2023 is the month of perpetual giving, which is why you're getting videos every day, we are also having a drawing for mindful merchandise. And so if you comment on a video and like a video that is on this channel, every single time you do that, your name goes into a drawing for prizes. Drawings will happen on December 15th and December 31st, and they will be announced in those particular videos. All right, everyone. Let's go ahead and let's get into the content. All right. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. There'll be another reminder at the end of this video. Intermittent fasting. I have been using intermittent fasting probably since 2012. So it's 2023. So maybe a little just shy, a little bit over a decade now. And so one of the things that I have found to be true is that intermittent fasting fits seamlessly into my lifestyle. And I overall, I feel better when I fast. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about why that is. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm 43 years old. So I'm definitely a woman in her 40s. And one of the things that I have noticed is that individuals that I run into that are kind of like my counterparts, they don't intermittent fast or they don't fast regularly, they have premenopausal symptoms that they find it very challenging to combat. They find it challenging to stay focused on things that they need to get done. They also find it challenging to go to the gym or have some kind of workout regimen that actually assists in keeping their physical body strong, healthy, and ageless. And so we're going to talk about how intermittent fasting actually affects all of those things. So first of all, what is IF or intermittent fasting? You'll see it abbreviated as IF. There, IF or intermittent fasting is where you take the opportunity to alternate between giving your body food and letting your system take a rest by not giving your body any food or minimal food. And that's the key thing. There are certain amounts of calories that you can give your body, and it will still remain in a fasted state. Well, why do we want the body in a fasted state? Well, a fasted state gives the digestive systems an opportunity to rest. One of the ways that I talk about fasting or I teach fasting to the students at Legacy is I make sure that they understand that they can think of their body as a secretary. And every time something in the office needs to be done, a stack of file folders or something is brought to the secretary and placed on the desk. Before that person can get done, he or she can get done with all the work required in the file folders, another stack is brought. And then by the time they can try to get any of that done, another stack is brought. And then they start moving these stacks around to accommodate the extra work that's coming in, right? So they got stacks on the floor, they got stacks up on the shelf, they've got stacks of file folders everywhere, and they're making their way through working through the information, working through all the work that needs to be done. Our physical bodies do the same thing, when we eat food or when we eat often without giving the body a rest. It is the exact same concept. And then what's more important is to understand what the body does to these things when we don't give it time to process the food and things that we eat properly. One of the things that happens is, and you'll see that cancer and tumors and all these kinds of things are on the rise. One of the things that happens is having food that isn't processed, having food, I'm sorry, that isn't hasn't gone through the body and been processed properly, or eating foods that are highly processed and giving our body more of these things that just take time to break down and for the body to figure out what it is or what to do with it. These are why it stores these things in fat cells, or it stores these things as misinformation, or it stores these things as like cancer cells and growths and tumors and things like that. This is why. It is because the body's not given the proper amount of time to make sure that it is resting and digesting, and that it is able to assimilate and work through everything that we give it, so that it doesn't improperly store these things, but that it turns it into the cellular matter that we need for hair, skin, nails, and things that help us look ageless. So let's talk about what it means to be in a fasted state, or some of the steps that happen to the body when it's in a fasted state. When the body is actually in a fasted state, it has the ability to start diverting its energy towards cellular repair and regeneration. And it allows the cells to truly heal and assimilate or work through all of the food that the body has received up until the time that the fast actually starts. Now, there are certain phases of a fast that happen when we start fasting. For example, the body goes into a fat reduction or a fat burning phase when we are fasting, and the body actually goes into an autophagic or autophagy phase. Autophagy, by definition, just means cellular death. And what happens is all of the old cells and all of the old parts that our cells use up for different processes in the body can be destroyed and broken down and used for energy. It's like taking parts from one car and breaking them down to build a whole new and better machine. Think of it kind of like that way, right? These parts that are these cellular matter or these things can be burned for energy within the body. Now, autophagy happens after about 16 to 24 hours of fasting, but autophagy can happen a little bit earlier. And then fat loss happens when we are a little bit over 24 hours of fasting, right? And it's just about getting our body to that amount of time. And so most people don't necessarily fast that long. They fast, so we'll talk a little bit about IF and the different kinds of IF now, since I'm getting into that. So there's a few different types of intermittent fasting, and you decide which one works for you. The first one is the most popular one, and it is called the lean gains method. The lean gains method gives us about 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. Most types of intermittent fasting work kind of on a 24-hour clock. And so lean gains is going to give us 16 hours of not eating, and then we open our eating window for 8 hours. So what that looks like is, and the time that you're asleep is also counted as a fasting state, because your body naturally goes into a repair mode when you sleep, which is why it's important when you're fasting to go to sleep at the same time every night. I did a video on sleep and making sure you get good sleep for longevity and things like that. It's on this channel. If I remember, I'll tag it below or at the end of this video. Sorry about that. And so the lean gains method is 16 hours and 8 hours. And what it looks like is you get up, you skip breakfast. Instead, you can have green tea without any sweetener or anything in it. Sometimes people use MCT oil. And one of the things that you'll understand quickly is that fat can extend the amount of time that you fast without kicking you out of a fasted state. Good thing to remember. So things like raw nut butters, or a scoop of raw nut butter, or MCT oil in your tea, or sports performance MCT oil, which I love, in your tea. in your hot tea will give you a much more satiated state while you fast, and it will allow your body to be able to go much longer. So when I'm doing fasts that are over 36 hours, I absolutely start every 24 hours or every day with tea with sports performance MCT oil. And then depending on the supplements that I need, some supplements actually have more calories in them. And so I don't always take every single supplement when I fast, but I do take the critical ones like my vitamin D and things like that, B12, things like that, things that are necessary for bodily function. And so you want to make sure that when you're looking at intermittent fasting, it naturally, lean gains naturally fit my day because I don't eat breakfast anyway. And I haven't eaten breakfast in over a decade now. And so it's very rare. If I'm like on vacation, maybe I will, but even that is very rare. And I'll still eat like a late breakfast instead. It's very rare that I get up and the first thing I do is do like, I don't know, American stuff, I guess, like drinking coffee, or I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not a pancake eater. Like I was never into breakfast food. Pancakes, biscuits, waffles are things that we identify as breakfast food in America. Sausage, I was never into those things, never ate those things beyond like grade school, right? Never really ate those types of things. And so obviously as an adult, I don't eat those types of things at breakfast. It's very rare. And so that's the thing to really kind of think about. How is your eating style? Because that's a part of this fasting thing as well. But one of the things that you also want to be aware of is that they say when you fast properly and consistently, it really doesn't matter what you eat because you're giving your body the long-term time that it needs to process through everything. And it also naturally, because you're not eating all throughout the day and night, naturally your body's going to eat less because there's less time to eat, right? And so you're going to naturally have yourself in a deficit or a caloric deficit that will naturally allow your weight to just come down on its own. And so one of the things that I like to do is take an extended fast during my cycle, take an extended fast for 36 hours or more over the course over a set of 36 hours. So 36 hours 4 days in a row. So 36 on the fast, 12 off the fast, right? And so I usually will set up my days like this during the time of my cycle. And then when my cycle's done, then I will go ahead and come off and then feed and then go back into intermittent fasting, into the lean gains method. And so you want to make sure you decide how your fasting is going to work. So 16 and 8 is one option. Alternate day fasting is another option. And that's essentially 24 hours fasting, 24 hours feeding. And a lot of people do this because they say, well, I can get it pushes me into autophagy, and then I'm right at that fat burning phase as well before I refeed. And so this is kind of where you want to be when you're actually doing your fasting. Now, Life 360, I think is the name of it. Y'all, let me look at my phone. I need to tell y'all. I'm going to show y'all what app I use. The Life, it needs to update. The Life app, it says Life. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you on the screen. This essentially is, I'm sorry, you guys, the lights are on it. But this is essentially what the app looks like. And so when I'm ready to start my fast, I will push this blue button. But you can see where it tells me, and I have it set at 36 hours because that's my average. It'll tell me how many hours when I hit the start fast that it's going to take me to get to autophagy, right? So it'll tell me, I'm sorry, ketosis. So, which is your fat burning phase. And then it'll also tell me when I get to autophagy, and it'll send me a notification. And then I can also fast with people in different groups. One of the things that I said I was going to do, and I'll do this in 2024 if you guys want that, and you'll have to definitely get on the email list, is I'm going to put us a group on this app for those people who want to fast. And they're in the group. You can ask me questions if you're having a tough time. You also get to tell the group with an emoji on your phone. You get to type your status. I think you only get like maybe about 15 to 20 characters. And you can say how you're feeling, right? And then you can put an emoji with it. I have never felt more empowered, more focused, and more energized than when I fast. And I mean, when I fast, like long term, 36 hours and up, like really. And if you get into trouble, you can always have something that's less than 150 calories, and it will satiate you a little bit. And this is where that scoop of almond butter or scoop of raw nut butter or seed oil in your black coffee or seed oil in your green tea, that's where these things come in handy, and it gives your body the fat. Now, the other thing you want to understand about having the fat for your body as well is fats help balance your hormones. So if you've been someone who's been like up down roller coaster diet and things like that, and you've been dropping fat or cutting carbs and doing those things, that's not what your body's going to appreciate. So you have to be aware of how your body actually works when it comes to fasting. And as women, you need fat. You need fat so that your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone all stay in balance. You also need it from neurotransmitters like serotonin as well. And so you want to make sure, and serotonin is why you feel excited about things. It's what gives you the energy to do a video every day for the month of December, right? And always have great content. The main thing to be aware of is that it keeps you sharp. So think about like how I do these videos, right? These videos come straight from my brain. I'm not looking anything up. I'm not doing a ton of research and things like that. No, I'm not. Especially for the month of December, I told myself just pick a topic and speak from the top of your head. That lets you know how powerful fasting is. I went to the gym this morning and I did an hour on the stairs with a band around my legs, came home, showered, and got dressed to get in front of this camera to rock out. I will try to do 10 videos today if I can. We'll see. I did 8 videos last night. And so it keeps me sharp and it keeps me focused, right? That's what fasting does. Now, I'll stop and I'll take a break and I'll feed when my fast ends, but during the lean gains method, I don't really track that, but you can track it in the app and it'll give you the stats of how many fasts the person has done, how long their longest fast has been. And so I'll create a life group for us so that you guys can be in there as well and you can get your fast on or you can get advice and things about it in our group. The only other thing that you want to be aware of is these extended fasts. Some people do extended water fasts, which are beautiful. If you are doing them for more than about 48 hours, you definitely want to consult a doctor or a physician or someone, right? Use your best judgment on things like that. I have done a water fast for 7 days without the help of anybody. But I have over 20 years in a healthcare, as a healthcare provider in anesthesiology, respiratory care, and clinical research. So I know what my body's doing, right? I've seen enough in the field to know what my body's doing and when I need to talk to a doctor. You are not me. So if you think you need the guidance of a physician, you're trying to do a water fast over a certain amount of time, you definitely want to solicit the assistance of someone who can draw your labs and look at you and pay attention to you and all the things that you need. Okay. So I know this video went a little bit long. I said I was going to try to keep the videos in December under 10 minutes, but I want to make sure that you get this information because it is key to the longevity in health and overall holistic living of women over 40. When you can think clearly, when you are able to be able to be focused and live a beautiful life, then you're able to do so many other things that and have the mental clarity to do so many other things that you didn't even think you could do. And believe it or not, all of that stuff comes from the energy of food. Our bodies are using so much energy to break down food that we're not seeing or understanding that if we gave our bodies a rest, it would do exactly what we needed it to do. All right. So keep that in mind. Choose a fasting method that works for you, and then take your time each month to go on a long term fast. Now, one of the questions I also get asked often is, what if I'm over 40 and I no longer cycle or I no longer bleed every month or get a period every month? That's fine. You're gonna want to check out a book called Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pels. uh, by Dr. Mindy Pelz, Pelz is in zebra. And she has an incredible YouTube channel. I think she might have 1 million followers now. She is the end all be all guru person on fasting for women over 40. Period, point blank, right? There might be some other people out there that I might shout out in some other videos and things like that, but she's the one who got me straight on fasting. And even though I had fasted for many, many years, I found Dr. Pelz's channel probably 8 or 9 months ago and have just been using it. And it has helped me tremendously on my healing journey with fibroids. It has helped me tremendously. You want to make sure that you are tapped into these kinds of communities as well. And I hope her community is as big of a help to you as it has been for me as well. And so, if you haven't already yet and you've come this far in the video, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment, like the video so that your name can go into a drawing for the month of December. Kind of something like this.